So requirements have come in and the analyst has mapped out all the data types and how they translate to keywords in OnBase. Watch out. Data types. It's easy, they say. If a document comes in and there's text on it, then it should map to an alphanumeric. If there's numbers, then map that to a numeric field. If it's a date, then a date. Easy peasy. But more thought needs to go into how to map this data that comes in off of your document to keyword data types. There are a few factors that you should consider when trying to select a data type beyond the value that you're trying to store. For instance, how is this value going to be used throughout the system? You have retrieval, workflow rules and actions, Unity scripts, maybe you're querying a third-party database. So here are a couple of real-world examples that might throw you off. So you have a document that's coming in, and it has a customer number. It comes in, it's a number. It's a pure numeric value. Operations has requested that they can do a wildcard search on it. Maybe the last 4 digits is the last 4 digits of a social security number. Now, you can't do a wildcard search on a numeric value. You're gonna have to put that into an alphanumeric value. Another scenario that we see all the time in financial services is they have account numbers and they've mapped in the original implementation of their system, they map that account number to the system keyword account number. Makes sense. But now the formatting of that account number has changed. So these account numbers are coming in with leading zeros. Numeric values will strip leading zeros off of the value when it's a numeric. As you can see, that could turn into a lot of work for you to try to do a conversion, especially if it is a system keyword like account number that can't just be converted in the database to alphanumeric. I have hundreds of horror stories that relate to this, but I'm sure you in your system have a few keywords that store the same value but are different data types. Now I'm going to jump into config and I'm going to show you a different perspective on how I choose data types. All right, we're in config, numeric 9 versus numeric 20. The difference is just the size of the number that you're going to be working with. Now, how do you decide between numeric and alphanumeric in this scenario? Simply put, math. If you're going to be counting or calculating, you're going to lean towards the numeric values. Or if you're going to want a unique value that auto increments when the document is created. Sticking with the numeric category, I'm going to move down to floating point. This is a number that has a decimal point. So I use this if I need more exact math. Moving up to currencies, this is math with dollar amounts. It's essentially a decimal point that is set out to 2 places. Moving up to date and date time. This is math with dates. If you're evaluating one date versus another, you're not going to see a lot of scenarios where you're going to need to go alphanumeric with dates. Now, for date time, I use this to store transactional data. It might be the time that an approval has happened, or if the user needs to select in a Unity form the date and time of a PTO request, that's when I'll go into date and time. Alphanumeric now, for everything else, no math. This allows for versatility, expansion, retrievability. Now, you could put any of the other data types into alphanumeric, but please consider all the scenarios that I just went over. So the last thing to consider, but it should be your highest priority, is performance. Each keyword creates a table, yes, table in the database. Use best practices when selecting a data type, just as you would if you were creating a table in a database. Don't go crazy creating every keyword as an alphanumeric 250. Any space that's wasted in the database will show up in the form of performance down the road. So now I have a little quiz to see if you all were listening. I want to create a data type that stores the calorie value of these snacks so that one day I can add up all the calories that I've consumed during the making of all these videos. You think about that while I munch on this treat from Taiwan. It looks like Cheetos, but a little bit different. And I can't open this. Oh man. They make packaging in Taiwan. Very strong. Scissors. Troubleshooting on the spot. They look like what happens in the factory when the Cheetos break into pieces and they just throw it into a bag. And surprisingly, it tastes just like Cheetos with a little hint of Taiwan.